Hey, thank you for watching this week. I want to continue challenging you to think bigger, to dream bigger, to think beyond where you are right now and see your potential, see where God wants to take you. And you know, every dream, every goal begins right here in your imagination. It's your ability to think beyond where you are today. It's your ability to think outside the realm of possibilities. That's where it all begins, is right here in your mind. You know, I'm always challenging people to set goals, write your dreams, make them plain on paper. And you know, a lot of times people think about doing that maybe just at New Year's time, you know, New Year's Day, set some New Year's resolutions, set some new goals for your life. You know, it's been proven that 97% of New Year's goals go unfulfilled. 97%. Then I read another statistic that said 30% are broken within the first week. That's terrible. Within the first week, 30%? Well, I don't want to talk about New Year's goals. I want to talk about life goals. Like, what are your goals for life? What are you going to do with the rest of your life? Let's think about that. Think about your dreams, your goals. What do you want to say that you have done when you come to the end of your life? Beyond that, what do you believe God's called you to do? And can you imagine it? Can you really think beyond where you are today? Can you imagine your dream house? Can you imagine living in your dream house? Can you imagine your dream car? Can you imagine singing in front of 10,000 people? I can't, but maybe that's part of your dream. Can you imagine playing your instrument, recording a CD, writing a book, starting your own business? Can you imagine that sign going up outside the building? Can you imagine your business cards with your name on it being handed out to people? What can you imagine? Because before you can do something, you got to see yourself doing it. Before you can have something, you have to see yourself having it. And then before you can be something, you got to see yourself being that. And every dream begins right here. You know, Albert Einstein said, imagination is everything. He said it's simply a preview of life's coming attractions. That's pretty good, isn't it? It's a preview of life's coming attractions. So once you begin to dream it, that's the first step in starting to achieve it. You know, Keith Moore said, if you can't imagine that, if you can't imagine anything beyond where you are right now, then what you're saying is, I'm content to stay right where I'm at forever. But I don't believe you are. I don't think you'd even be watching this if you were just content with life, no changes, I'll be fine 10 years from now just doing what I'm doing. No, we should all be growing and learning and stretching ourselves and always trying to reach for more. You know, even when Abraham, you know, God declared him as the father of many nations, God had to get a vision, an image on the inside of Abraham. He had to see himself as the father of many nations. So God said, you know, come on, come outside. I want to show you something. He said, look up in the sky. You see all those stars? Abraham looked up at the stars. He said, that's how many descendants you're going to have. Can you count them? Abraham said, no, I can't count them. He said, I want you to look at that. He said, look up from where you are and see your potential, basically. See your future. Well, God knew, of course, that Abraham had to get an image of it right here. He had to see the potential of how many descendants he was really going to have, even though it looked absolutely impossible. He couldn't have kids, Sarah couldn't have kids, but God specializes in doing the impossible. But first of all, he's got to get you to believe it. You have to get that image right here before it's ever going to show up out here. You know, and it's true in so many arenas of life. We see this in success stories of professional athletes, movie stars, comedians, Olympians, Bible heroes. Every dream, every goal begins right here in your imagination. You know, think about the Tower of Babel. When they were trying to build that tower that would reach heaven, you know, that was their goal. We're going to build this structure and it's going to reach heaven. And the Lord even said, now think about this. This was before concrete mixers and cement trucks and power tools, and they didn't even have all that. I don't know how they did it. I really can't even fathom how they did it. But they're building this tower, and the Lord even said, this is only the beginning of what they will do. He said, and now nothing they have imagined they can do will be impossible for them. Nothing they have imagined they can do will be impossible for them. One translation said, nothing they have planned to do will be impossible for them. Well, the Lord was saying, if you can think it up here, I can do it out here. If you can think it, God can do it. If you can dream it, God can do it. But He has to get you to think. You have to stretch your imagination. Think outside the realm of possibility. You know, if your dreams are so outrageous and they seem ridiculous and they seem stupid and people laugh at you and they think you're dumb for even dreaming something that big, that's good. I'm glad you're dreaming that. You've probably heard from God, because you know God is a big God. He's a big thinker. He's a big dreamer. And anything He's called you to do, it is going to be outside the realm of possibility. If it was possible, you wouldn't need God, would you? So think big. Dream bigger than you ever have before. But start right here. I want you to just take some time to sit quietly and just think. Just imagine. Imagine your life 5 years from now. Imagine your life 10 years from now. What do you see? And then start writing it down. You know, Jack Nicklaus, the legendary golfer, who won over 100 victories, and he won over $5.7 million in, tournament wins. He even said, I never hit a ball, not even in practice, without having a very sharp, in-focus picture of it right here in my mind. He imagined that hole-in-one. He imagined it before he ever did it. You know, you've heard of Disney World? You know, when Disney World had its grand opening in Orlando, Florida, Walt Disney wasn't even alive. He wasn't even there for the grand opening. He'd already passed away. But at the grand opening ceremony, here they are having this wonderful celebration. And the master of ceremonies, he invited Mrs. Walt Disney to the ceremony. And he said to her, he said, you know, Miss Disney, I just wish that Walt could have seen all this. And she stood up and she said, he did. And she sat back down. Where did he see it? He saw it right here. He saw every bit of that in his imagination before it ever showed up on the outside. You know, 2 Corinthians 4:18 says, we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen. For the things which are seen are temporary, but the things that are unseen are eternal. So I want you to just practice setting aside some time to just think. Every successful person does this. They don't just stumble upon achievement. They think. They imagine. They dream of their life outside the realm of possibility. And once you can imagine it, you've already taken the first step towards achieving it. So I want to thank you for watching me, and I really want you to get this new series on Can You Imagine? I believe it is the best, most motivational series I've ever done, and it's going to challenge you to think bigger. So thank you for watching me, and I'll see you next week.